this election is 3 days away. Now, I kind of fault myself because I know I didn't do quite as much as I wanted to for the Democrats across this country in terms of the candidates, the officials, all that stuff. But I mean, I've still put out a good amount of material in terms of the videos talking about the accomplishments and the achievements of many Democratic candidates and figures. I think I did one video talking about Josh Shapiro. Of course, I've done a few with Tim Walz. Of course, Biden, Harris, many others. And here's the thing. So the rapper Plies did a video on Instagram earlier this year in January. It's got over 61,000 likes and over 15,000 shares. Now, for some reason, right now, I can't see how many people actually viewed it because I'm sure there was a lot more people than that actually looked at it. Because a lot of people, you know how it is, they look at videos and they may not like, comment, or share. But he had a very good message for President Biden and Vice President Harris. And needless to say, I agree with every word that he's saying because one thing that irritates me about the Democrats is that they do have a tendency to sometimes play patty cake a little too much with the Republicans, both MAGA and non-MAGA. And guys, we don't have time for that. If we're trying to win an election here, you do have to take off the gloves and you got to really fight. You got to brag. Democrats have to brag. Okay? I don't care how arrogant it sounds or narcissistic it sounds. Get out there and talk about your accomplishments and your achievements. Talk about the achievements of the Democrats across this nation. So it helps us with the Senate and the governorships and the Congress and the state spots, all that. I've talked many times about my 12 state strategy. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. And of course, I'm going to do another video about that. So I would say by Sunday or Monday, I'll be presenting a video delivering my closing arguments for Harris Walz as well as Biden Harris. So Plies said the same thing that I said, is that Democrats need to brag. But needless to say, the way he said it and the exact words he was using, it's a little different than how I would say it on this show, at least, because, you know, I try to keep the show clean for the most part. So this is about 2 minutes. I need you guys to sit back. And if you didn't understand what he said, I'll break it down later. So here's what he said. Just listen.
Dear motherfucking Joe Biden and motherfucking Kamala Harris, because I'm sick of it. Can somebody teach y'all how to motherfucking brag? Motherfucking stock market doing way better under y'all than it did under him. Job numbers way better under y'all than it did under him. Motherfucking GDP. People wages at the bottom going up more than the people wages at the top. Inflation going down. Gas prices going down. And y'all can't figure out how to motherfucking brag. You blow some shit up over there in the Middle East. Get your ass out here and brag about it. How you think I know you got a motherfucking Corvette, Joe? Huh? Cause you a motherfucking bragger. How you think I know Kamala know how to motherfucking dance? Cause she motherfucking shoulder. You think if you had 91 motherfucking charges on you, he wouldn't be over there motherfucking talking about it? What you think the motherfucking NFL doing right now, motherfucking Taylor Swift, Joe? Motherfucking bragging. They saying she had all the bitch. She ain't at the NBA. She ain't at the NHL. She ain't at the MLB. She had all shit. Even motherfucking Crawford Dollar bragging. Fuck you think all them Rolls Royces is and shit. You went and ate lunch at them little motherfucking black kids' house in the motherfucking wherever they was. How you think we motherfucking found out about it? You ain't tell us. They snuck and motherfucking recorded because they was motherfucking bragging. And y'all can't figure out how to motherfucking brag. Student loan forgiveness. Get your ass out here and brag about it. Y'all get some money. Get your ass out here and brag about it. You got some motherfucking celebrities out of prison too. Get motherfucking Brittany Griner at your motherfucking throw a motherfucking party. It ain't your motherfucking fault America love braggers, but goddamn it, brag. Shit ain't that motherfucking hard, man. All you got to do is go motherfucking brag. Y'all hang around some motherfucking rappers or something. Somebody need to teach y'all how to motherfucking brag, cause y'all goddamn sure don't know how to do it. Dear mother.
All right, so. All right, so I'm willing to bet that some of you probably weren't able to make that out. He was saying, get out there and brag. Now, here's one of my favorite parts. I'm sure some of you caught this and some of you didn't. He said, Dear Joe Biden, if you had 4 indictments and 91 charges against you, you don't think Trump and the Republicans and Fox News and Newsmax and all the right-wing conservative Republican sources, you don't think they're going to be running that more than what the Democratic media is already doing now with Trump and his legal problems? It would be nonstop on Fox News, on Newsmax, on Daily Wire, Breitbart, OAN. Every conservative podcaster and YouTuber would be discussing it non-stop. Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, Dennis Prager, Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Charlie Kirk. Every single one of them. I mean, I know there's a lot more out there, but I don't know all of them because clearly I don't watch enough of them. I don't really watch. But, guys, that would be non-stop coverage. I think half the people half the people that I just listed right there in the right-wing media, those people will probably be stand-up comedians by now if Joe Biden had the same legal trouble that Trump has right now. Now, let me get to this right here. Let me pull this up. Hold on. I hope this is the right one. I'm sorry, this computer's acting slow right now. Hold on. I don't know what the heck's wrong with this thing. So, Biden, Harris, Shapiro, Walz, the Obamas, the Clintons, Bernie Sanders, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer. Every Democrat official, candidate, activist, organizer, public figure needs to get out there and brag about the fact that the Biden-Harris administration did these things. And then we're going to get into what they need to be bragging about with Harris and Walz, which I see they're kind of doing it now, but it's not enough. So look, let me go over this again. Now, I know people get tired of hearing this, but I don't care. These are the facts. What have President Biden and Vice President Harris done for America? Oh, nothing really besides these things. They passed the American Rescue Plan Act, which cut $1,400 stimulus checks. They increased the child tax credit up to $3,000 per child if the child is between the ages of 6 and 17, $3,600 if the child is below 6. And they expanded unemployment benefits. They passed the COVID relief package, which provided $325 billion for small businesses, which a lot of those businesses were black-owned. They invested $16 billion into HBCUs. And as a result, the students who attend those HBCUs, they were able to pay down, if not completely pay off their student loans, because statistics show that more people of color owe student debt than the Caucasian Americans, if I can say that. White people, fine, white people, let's just say it like that. It's not offensive, just whatever. They gave $15 an hour to federal workers. They gave $15 an hour to contractors. They cut the contracts that the Department of U.S. Justice, what is wrong with me right now? That the U.S. Department of Justice had with private prisons. They put a pause on the weapons deal that the U.S. has with Saudi Arabia. They massively reduced the drone war by over 70%. They pulled the U.S. out of Afghanistan. They passed mild bipartisan gun reform. They canceled up to $20,000 in student debt per individual, which helped over 44 million Americans. They lowered the medical debt from almost $200 billion to $88 billion, which helped almost 9 million Americans. They put us back into the World Health Organization. They put us back into the Paris Climate Agreement. They brought back over 350,000 jobs. They did the CHIPS Act, which created over 800,000 manufacturing jobs. They reunited 500 migrant children with their families. They lowered gas prices to under $3.20 a gallon. And by the way, I just passed a few gas stations. I see prices between $2.87 to $2.99. Now, some of it, to be fair, there might be somewhere that's over $3.20. You know, again, obviously I'm not in many places, but gas prices are a hell of a lot lower now compared to what they were in 2021 and 22. They passed the PACT Act, which provided health care to veterans who were exposed to toxic burn pits. They moved the overtime eligibility threshold from $35,000 a year to $55,000 a year, which helps almost 4 million salaried workers. Now, what does that mean? It means that under Bush, if you made $23,000 a year or under, you're eligible for overtime pay. Obama got in there, he raised it to $47,000. Trump got in, he lowered it to $35,000. Biden got in, he raised it to $55,000. On that specific issue alone, you cannot say the two parties are the same. That is just a fact. And if you want to know why Republicans keep lowering it, it's not my responsibility to figure out why they did that. Go talk to them. And go talk to all the Republicans who backed it. Where was I at? They moved marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. They expunged some marijuana-related charges and convictions. They provided $20 billion for the Economic Injury Disaster Loans grants for low-income community businesses. They provided $284 billion for the Paycheck Protection Program. They went to Michigan to support and stand with the United Auto Workers during their strike. They capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month. They gave a pay raise to over 200,000 construction workers. They passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which provided $64 billion in extending the Affordable Care Act. They appointed the first black woman to the U.S. Supreme Court. They enrolled 16 million Americans back onto the Affordable Care Act. They gave Medicare the allowance to negotiate lower drug prices. And by the way, that post that I made right there, that was as of October of 2023. There was something that Biden did earlier this year, and I'm kind of blanking on at the moment. Maybe some of you watching this could add on to the list. You know, I got some good friends on here that keep up with policy too. Some of you are way better at it than I am. So, you know, for some of you who are extreme political experts, extreme nerds, I mean, that everything I listed right there might be the tip of the iceberg. But the point is, see, Harris needs to brag about that. And at the same time, let me get to this right here. Now, there's a few policy proposals that Harris has. A lot of people are so stupid and just so hateful of Harris that they just can't, they act like she's not talking about anything on the campaign trail. So all these rallies that she's doing, and she rallied 15 times in Pennsylvania. She came to Michigan for about the 10th or 11th time. She just came from Arizona. She was down in Georgia. And you think she's talking about nothing. What is she doing? Like, you just think she's going like, well, I'm a woman, so tee. No. Here are the top 4 of her policy proposals. People keep saying name one. I'm about to give you 4. So sit down and shut up and listen. Ban on price gouging for groceries and food. Introducing the first ever ban on price gouging for groceries and food, including authorizing the Federal Trade Commission to impose fines on grocery stores that engage in excessive price hikes. That's number 1. Number 2, elimination of medical debt. Proposing to cancel medical debt for millions of Americans by using the federal funds to buy and forgive outstanding medical debt from healthcare providers. Number 3, $6,000 child tax credit. A $6,000 child tax credit for the first year of a baby's life, in addition to restoring the Biden administration's child tax credit that expired in 2021, which provided up to $3,600 per child, up from $2,000. Number 4, $25,000 subsidy for first-time home buyers, a federal subsidy of $25,000 for more than 1 million first-time home buyers to assist with down payments. So here's the deal. And then you got Tim Walz, which I can give you some of his stuff off the top of my head. This guy is so freaking amazing. What did Tim Walz do as the governor of Minnesota? Let's see. Universal free school meals, legal weed, carbon-free electricity by 2040, tax rebates for the working class up to $1,300 if the family makes under $150K a year, 12 weeks paid family leave, 12 weeks paid sick leave. They banned conversion therapy. They did red flag laws for guns. They did universal background checks for guns. They did automatic voter registration, public free college if you make under 80K, a ban on PFAs, which is for forever chemicals, $2.2 billion increase in K-12 school funding, sectoral bargaining for nursing home workers. And when he was a congressman, he opposed the Iraq War, and he was a proponent of ending the Yemen War, and he was trying to fight the neocons in that. Now, ultimately, he was unsuccessful in doing that, but his heart was still in the right place. And so, with that all together right there, this is what Harris and Walz need to be talking about. This is what all the Democrats and all the Democratic governors and all the Democratic senators and all the Democratic Congress people and all Democratic state representatives and all Democratic state senators and all Democratic judges, all these people need to repeat those talking points nonstop. Okay, the media has given way too much coverage to the other guy. They gave him way too much coverage in 2016, and that's part of how he won. And you thought they would have learned their lesson from that, but then they turn around and they give the man a damn town hall. And then they feed into this narrative that, oh, well, he's entertaining and he's funny sometimes, and so he's a mixed bag. No. you have to brag about these things right here. This should be the primary focus right here. There's 3 days left, okay? No more entertainment, no more funny business, no more games. We got an election to win right here. I need every Democratic governor, and I'm gonna repeat it again. We got every Democratic governors, Democratic senators, Democratic congresspeople, Democratic state representatives, Democratic state senators, Democratic judges, Democratic county executives, all of them. Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Tina Smith, Amy Klobuchar, Beto O'Rourke, Pete Buttigieg, Jennifer Granholm. Did I say Gretchen Whitmer? I think I might have said her, but whatever. I'll say it again. Gretchen Whitmer, Bernie Sanders, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi. I need all these people need to get out there and repeat these things right here. You have to brag because we still have way too many independents in this country. We have way too many undecideds. We have way too many middle of the road or people who are considering voting third party, too many moderate voters. You need those people to win. And you need to get the majority of those people in the 12 states that I talked about. I'll repeat the 12 states again. Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Arizona, Texas, Nevada, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, on top of the Democratic states that we already have, like California, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts. Democrats, do what this guy said and get your asses out there and brag. Get out there and brag and let's win this thing. Now, again, most of the numbers are looking pretty all right for her now, but again, polls are not a guarantee. Polls do not determine the outcome of the election. The only thing that determines the outcome of the election is when we actually get our asses to the polls and actually put the check mark in the box next to the name of the person you want to vote for. That's what's going to guarantee them a win. So people, we have to stop playing games right here. Let's, again, and when we bring those things up, all those policies that I just listed, and you have to constantly point out, hey, this is what Democrats brought you, and most, if not all, Republicans voted against it. Now, this is the part where somebody's going to ask you, well, do you know why the Republicans voted against it? Did you even try to look at the other side? Well, again, if Harris or Walz or any top Democratic official is asked that question, here's how they need to answer that. They say, you know what? We're the Democrat officials, and we're fighting for, again, we're fighting for the whole country. We want to better the country, but I'm not here to provide an argument for the other side's bad actions, okay? Mitch McConnell, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, Rick Scott, Josh Hawley, Mitt Romney, Rick Scott, Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Greene, Lauren Boebert, if they all voted against these things and I'm somehow being questioned about why they voted against it, why is nobody questioning them as to why they voted against it? Why'd they vote against the extinction of the child tax credit? Why'd they vote against capping insulin at $35 a month? Why did they have the audacity to stand in front of Congress and said, we have a shortage of baby formula? But then when the Democrats introduce a bill to get us more formula, they vote against it. They have the audacity to stand in front of Congress and say gas prices and grocery prices are too high. But then Democrats propose bills to say, okay, well, we're going to fight the companies that are doing all this price gouging, and they vote against that. They have to answer that, not us. So I want Harris to say that. I want Tim Walz to say that. I want Gretchen Whitmer to say that. I want Gavin Newsom to say that. I want every Democratic official in this country and every Democrat candidate who is running. I need all of you to say that. Do not back down. Stay on task, focus, and we should be all right. Because those states that I just listed, if we win all those states, we'll for sure be no less than 300 in the Electoral College. We'll be 300 even with those states alone, and that's not even including New York and California. So with them, that's like, I forget how many electoral votes California is off top, but if she were to get all those states, she would be theoretically almost at 400. But we haven't had anybody get 400 in a long time. I don't even think Obama got 400 in the Electoral College. We only had 3 presidents in the past that made it past 500 electoral votes, and that was FDR, Nixon, and Reagan. So, guys, listen to what this guy says out here. Get the hell out there and brag. Stop playing the games. Let's go on to win this election. We are 3 days away, people. Stop playing around. Let's get to it. And by the way, subscribe to my YouTube. The link is in the comment section. Please subscribe to my YouTube. And let's get out here and win this thing. And by the way, get out there and brag.